this section, we want to talk about angel financing as a source of financing and some characteristics about angels. Notice that when we talk about angels, we're really talking about individuals who are very active investors, meaning they take a role in trying to not only manage their investment, but also in maintaining control or at least some influence on the company that or companies that they've invested in. And they may even join in a group with a group of other individuals who are they form networks who may invest as one entity or at least work kind of informally together. Now, angels in general, and this is data based upon the Center of Venture Investing, Venture Equity from the University of New Hampshire. On average, the angel investor is about 47 years old, typically male, college educated, has an income of $90,000, a net worth of just under $1 million or $750,000, and are usually self-employed and will invest about $37,000 per venture. Now, this goes against what a lot of people, when they hear of angel investors or these super angels, they always think of these individuals who may be putting hundreds of thousands or millions into the company. But on average, typically, they're individuals who will put in a good amount of capital, but yet not a ton that gives them a lot of control over a company. Most angels put money into startups, and they like businesses that are less than 20 employees. They love to put it in money. They love to put money in companies that they can get their hands around, understand the operations, and with some great growth potential. 7 out of 10, or about 70% of angel investments are made within 50 miles of the angel's home or their home office. So again, just like with venture capitalists, they like to invest close to home so they can keep their hands and be able to on the investment. 30% of the angels invested about 30% of any proposals submitted to them, not just business plans, but investment proposals. They would invest in 35% more if they would invest 35% more if there were more acceptable proposals available to them. So a lot of angels have a dry powder to put money into, but they just don't have enough good opportunities to put money in. Part of the reason they'll say that they won't do it is insufficient growth potential, lack of sufficient information about the entrepreneur, typical reasons why venture capitalists or investors will stay away from startup firms. Now, Fenwick West, who's a big Silicon Valley law firm, does a quarterly survey, and they started doing a survey on trends in angel investings. And it's interesting data they get. And remember, this is West Coast bias, but in the first quarter of 2011, they said the amounts raised in angel and seed financing of companies in the survey, that they can exceed about $1 million. So, of course, West Coast tend to have larger dollar amounts involved. So angels can be involved early on and as group or as individuals put up to $1 million. Over time, the terms have become more sophisticated. They become more arm's length. Investors are more likely to be true third parties, no longer just pals, friends, and family. And they really have an interest to become more actively involved. And this is kind of an interesting development over the years, because it used to be that the venture capitalists used to take on more of this role, but now you're seeing angels perform more of these roles, especially with companies maybe not seeking the multi-million dollars in financing, but still high chunk. Typically, angels are accredited investors, especially when you talk about the financings of a couple hundred, of 50,000 or more. The SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, notes that an accredited investor has a net worth of over $1 million, or they earn $200,000 in income every year, or if they have with their spouse $300,000. This is important for disclosure reasons, because if you can get accredited investors to put money in your startup, of course you can avoid many disclosure requirements that the SEC Reg D regulations have. One of the great sources to go to for especially entrepreneurs who are trying to seek angel financing is what used to be called AngelSoft, but now is called Gust.com. It's a national platform which allows the entrepreneur to upload a lot of confidential information, offering information, and then there's a pool of investors who are also on there confidentially, and they get matched up. Here in Wisconsin, we have a similar type arrangement with the Wisconsin Angel Network. This was started back in the early 2000s by Governor Doyle, and it served a pretty nice purpose in helping connect angels with startup firms, early stage firms seeking money. Another group, North Star Economics, a consulting firm, has a list of all the angel groups here in Wisconsin. You can see the link here.